You think you're doing everything right. You wake up, crack 2 eggs into the pan, maybe toss in a slice of bacon or toast, a hearty breakfast, the kind your doctor might even approve of. But what if I told you, pairing those eggs with the wrong foods could quietly inflame your arteries, weaken your joints, and leave your immune system confused? It's not about the egg. It's about what walks beside it on your plate. I've sat with hundreds of patients over the age of 60, and more often than not, we don't just talk medicine, we talk habits. And there's one pattern I see again and again. People believe eating eggs daily is healthy, but they overlook one silent truth. Combining eggs with the wrong foods can undo every benefit they offer. So, today let's walk through the 3 most common food pairings that turn eggs from an anti-inflammatory friend into something that quietly works against your body. And I promise, once you see the science behind these, you'll never look at your breakfast the same again. 1. Eggs plus processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli slices. There's something comforting about the smell of eggs sizzling in the pan. You flip them gently, just as you've done for years. Maybe there's bacon beside them, or a slice of sausage curling at the edges. The kind of breakfast that feels familiar, even safe. I once had a patient named Walter, 67, who began every morning this way. He told me, "Doc, I've eaten this same breakfast since I was 30. It keeps me full, keeps me strong." But what he didn't know, what many don't, is that the danger doesn't lie in the egg. It lies in what joins it on the plate. You see, eggs are not the villain. In fact, they hold compounds that support your brain, your heart, your immune system, nutrients like choline and phospholipids that help calm inflammation. But when eggs are paired with processed meats, bacon, sausages, deli ham, something silent begins to happen inside the body. These meats carry nitrates, added to preserve shelf life and enhance flavor. When nitrates meet choline from the egg yolk during digestion, your body forms a compound called TMAO. You can't taste it. You won't feel it immediately. But over time, TMAO behaves like a kind of smog that settles in your arteries. It dulls the flexibility of your blood vessels, raises inflammation, and quietly increases the risk of heart disease. And here's the startling part. A study from Monash University in 2025 followed over 8,000 adults over 60. They found that eating 6 eggs a week lowered cardiovascular death by 29%, but only when those eggs weren't regularly consumed with processed meats. Walter was stunned when I shared this with him. He wasn't doing anything extreme, just holding on to a routine. But even a routine can age poorly when the science behind our food changes. He didn't stop eating eggs. He just changed the company they kept. Instead of bacon, he began adding half an avocado or a side of grilled tomatoes. Sometimes, a little wild-caught salmon from the night before. The result? 3 months later, his cholesterol dropped. His energy felt steadier. But more than that, he told me he felt lighter, like his body was no longer fighting against itself. So if you still love your eggs, keep them. Just be mindful of who else is sitting on the plate beside them. Sometimes healing doesn't require subtraction, just a better combination. 2. Eggs plus refined carbs, white toast, pastries. Mornings can feel rushed. You grab what's easy, a boiled egg, a slice of toast, maybe a small pastry on the side. It feels balanced, not too heavy, not too indulgent, something you've probably done for years without question. But beneath that quiet routine, something more complex is happening. And it doesn't show up with a warning label. A patient of mine, Linda, once said to me, "Doctor, I don't eat junk food, I keep it clean. Eggs and toast." She was frustrated, her joints ached, her energy dipped by noon. She thought she was doing everything right. So I asked her gently, "What kind of toast?" She replied, "Just white bread. I've always liked it soft. That softness, the light texture, the way it melts in your mouth, comes at a cost your body pays silently." You see, white bread and other refined carbohydrates, pastries, waffles, sweet rolls, digest rapidly. They spike your blood sugar, triggering a chain reaction that leads to AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Imagine AGEs like a sticky syrup that coats your food as it breaks down, then glues itself onto proteins, including those from your eggs. And your immune system doesn't like what it sees. It mistakes those bound together proteins as threats and responds with inflammation. not just in your gut, but in your joints, your brain, your blood vessels. In 2020, researchers at Cambridge found that meals high in AGEs, like eggs paired with refined carbs, increased gut inflammation markers by 44%. It wasn't the eggs alone. It was the sugar surge and what it left behind. Linda was surprised. No one had told her that the toast could be the problem. So, she tried something small. She replaced white bread with rye sourdough, added a few slices of orange beside her eggs. It wasn't a diet. It was a change in pairing, and her body noticed. Within weeks, her digestion felt calmer. The stiffness in her hands lessened. Even her afternoon crashes began to fade. She hadn't removed eggs. She'd simply let go of the quiet sugar trap that they were riding in with. So, if your breakfast has always included something soft and sweet, just pause. Not to remove joy from your plate, but to invite in combinations your body knows how to love. Eggs aren't the issue, but sometimes the side dish tells a different story. 3. Eggs plus industrial seed oils, corn, soybean. Some habits feel harmless because they've been with us for decades. You reach for the same bottle of cooking oil you always have. Corn oil, soybean oil. It's light, neutral, and says vegetable on the label. So it must be healthy, right? That's exactly what my patient George believed. He was 72, sharp-minded, with a daily ritual of making eggs for himself and his wife. He told me once, "Doctor, I use vegetable oil. I've been doing it for years. It's not like I'm deep frying." And he was right. He wasn't deep frying. But inflammation doesn't always roar. Sometimes it smolders quietly. What George didn't know, and what many aren't told, is that these common oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids. And while omega-6 isn't bad by itself, when it far outweighs omega-3s, the body's internal balance begins to shift toward inflammation. Imagine a faucet with a slow, steady drip. It doesn't seem like much until the sink overflows. That's what happens in your body. The omega-6 keeps dripping, and over time, the inflammatory bucket fills, spilling into your joints, your blood vessels, your memory. According to a study published in Frontiers in Immunology, 2018, the typical American breakfast has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of 16:1. This imbalance doesn't just increase joint pain, it accelerates cellular aging, especially in those over 60. George's knees had started aching more after his morning walks. He thought it was just age. But when we looked closer, we found the oil was part of the story. He made one small change. He switched to extra virgin olive oil and started gently poaching his eggs instead of frying them. 2 weeks in, the pain began to ease. By the 3rd month, he was walking longer distances without discomfort. No drastic diet. Just one change in how he cooked the food he already loved. So, if you've always used the same bottle of oil, pause before you reach for it tomorrow. Your eggs can still be warm, golden, and comforting, but the oil they swim in can decide whether they heal or quietly harm. And you deserve mornings that nourish every part of you, not just your hunger. Eggs by themselves carry no intention to harm. They're humble, quiet carriers of nourishment, packed with choline, protein, and compounds that protect memory and reduce inflammation. For many, they've been a faithful part of breakfast for decades. But the harm begins when they are joined by the wrong companions. Not because we meant to cause damage, but because we didn't know any better. I've seen it often, the same 2 eggs, cooked the same way, but one person feels nourished, while another feels foggy, inflamed, or restless by noon. The difference isn't the egg, it's what rides beside it. The bread that spikes sugar, the oil that fans inflammation, the meats that whisper quietly to your arteries. Now that you know this, you can step into your mornings differently. Not with guilt, not with fear, but with awareness. You can still have your eggs, but let them be accompanied by allies, not silent saboteurs. Let breakfast become a gentle repair, not an accidental injury. I've shared this recipe with many of my patients. It's not complicated, but it's intentional. It turns the ordinary into something quietly restorative. You'll need 2 pasture-raised eggs, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric, 1/2 red bell pepper, thinly sliced 1 handful of spinach, 1 teaspoon extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of black pepper to help the turmeric absorb. Here's what to do. Warm your olive oil gently over low heat. Add the red pepper. Let it soften slowly. Meanwhile, Whisk your eggs with turmeric, pour them into the pan, then add the spinach. Stir gently, and not rushing. Let the eggs set softly, not overcooked. Serve them with a slice of rye toast and a few orange slices on the side. Why this works is simple. Turmeric calms hidden inflammation. The fiber in rye bread keeps your blood sugar steady. And citrus? It neutralizes compounds your body doesn't need, especially if you've had processed meats in the past. But more than that, this meal is a ritual. It tells your body, I am paying attention now. I'm not rushing through this part of the day anymore. Because food isn't just fuel, it's instruction. And every bite you take teaches your body something new about how it should feel, heal, and age. And if you begin your morning with care, the rest of the day often follows. Can one small breakfast change your life? Maybe not all at once, but small habits repeated each morning, they shape your blood, your brain, your breath, and perhaps your future, I wonder. What do you usually eat with your eggs? A slice of toast passed down from habit? A familiar drizzle of oil from a bottle you've trusted for years? We all have pairings that feel like home. But sometimes, home can evolve. So, I invite you to try something gentle. Make the golden turmerics. Scramble 3 mornings this week. Don't rush it. Just notice how your joints respond, how your energy holds through noon, how your body feels after breakfast, not just during. And if something shifts, even a little, come back and tell us. Because healing isn't just personal, it becomes deeper when it's shared. If you have your own recipe that's helped your body feel calmer, stronger, or simply more alive, we'd love to hear it. We're not just exchanging meals here, we're building a quiet library of wisdom, one breakfast at a time.